Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Q&A edition of Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1231. I'm Greg Audino, your host. Glad to have you here today on this fine Saturday, which is my favy. I love taking listener questions, and today's is one I really admire. I also think it's one that encourages so much reflection, like more than usual somehow. So, be ready to hear more questions in response to one question. Let's get into it now and optimize your life. I struggle with irritation when things don't go like I planned or when people are neglecting rules, like not wearing a mask on the train or at the gym when you are obliged to because of the pandemic. I would like to be more relaxed and just ignore what other people do or don't do, or what they say, and just mind my own business. I would like to be more relaxed and easygoing in general. Okay, Asker. Awesome question. Thank you for sending it in. You know, I'm really proud of you for sending this question in. Proud is definitely the word, because when we are struggling with something that directly involves what we perceive to be the wrongdoing of other people, it's that much more difficult to shine the light on ourselves and seek help. Because again, the nature of the problem is what others are doing. So for you to take responsibility like this and even entertain the idea that maybe it would be wise of you to be the one who changes in spite of everyone else breaking the rules, that's just really spectacular. So, good work. Now, this is another question that I think we can really approach on the outside in the short term and the inside with some deep self-questioning over the long term. So, first, let's think about what you can do when you're in the heat of the moment. All right, so someone's breaking the rules, someone's being a clown, and your blood starts to boil. I know it's cliche, and you didn't have to come here to hear this, but deep breathing really is a good start in a scenario like this. So go right into your breath with some extended inhales and even longer exhales, maybe 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out if you can. I also want you to consider creating a trigger for yourself to stay as calm and, more importantly, as mindful as possible. Now, this is just something you would do that lets you know that it's time to take a breath and it's time to try to stay cool-headed. So decide this ahead of time. Maybe it's holding your left wrist with your right hand. Maybe it's touching your feet together. Maybe it's crossing your arms in such a way that you're kind of hugging yourself. It's a good way to get into the right frame of mind if you have a physical gesture that you associate with it. And finally, if you are maybe prone to speaking up a little bit more than you would have cared to in retrospect, think in advance about what the threshold is for you to say something. So maybe if it's about people not wearing a mask, like you mentioned, maybe you'll say something if it's a packed subway, but you'll bite your tongue if it's in a cafe with 5 people who are pretty spread out. That's just an example. I don't know. The point is, to the best of your ability, to decide ahead of time what's worthy of what degree of stress, so that in the heat of battle, you've already done the thinking about the severity of the situation and what it warrants, as opposed to going down a rabbit hole and giving yourself further stress when you're in this heated moment. Okay, so now the question is, where do I want to direct my thoughts once I am in my little Zen state? Well, as far as things you might want to contemplate in that moment, some good starters might be, 1, what if these people just have different and finely tuned belief systems from me and they are trying their best? 2, what if for some reason they're unable to follow the rules or act in a way that would please me in this moment? 3, did I ever break the rules unintentionally or simply because I just had some growing up to do? 4, how would it feel if I instead transferred my energy to forgiving this person right now rather than condemning them? Would a harsh reaction be as effective as a compassionate one? Okay, now all these initial questions can help to, at the very least, get you thinking from outside a place of stress. And I think the last question I would recommend is, why does this really upset me? Now, a question like this really lends itself to long-term questioning, which is the other part of how I feel you might help yourself with this. So you can ask yourself this in the moment, but over time, think deeply on it. Because this strong reaction that you have, it's coming from somewhere, and getting to the source of it can be so useful as well as refreshing. As you sit with this question over time and seek to dig deeper, examine the following. Why might I have this unusually strong need for control and order? Do I not trust that things will turn out okay and go according to plan when people don't follow the rules? And if so, why do things have to go according to plan? Am I resistant to spontaneity? And if so, why? Am I used to there being a lot of conflict and not feeling safe when I or others don't follow directions? Has this maybe become a form of jealousy in me to see people so relaxed and easygoing in the face of the rules? Because maybe I wish I had more of that in me. So, is there a true threat that I feel is at stake, or is that a story that I can't stop believing and I desperately want to be like those who don't believe it? I guess a lot of those questions would all boil down to one of these two, though there could be very well something else in there. I'm just throwing out possibilities because you are much more capable of finding these answers within yourself than I am. So don't be afraid to lean into questions like these, either by yourself or with the help of a therapist. They are very difficult sometimes, so professional help can be beneficial. But between your own self-questioning, being better prepared in the moment, and talking with a therapist if you choose to, you'll definitely be on your way to managing these feelings in a healthier way. Okay, everyone, and I thank you dearly for listening today. Asker, I really hope this episode helps and that you find some of these questions I've laid out to help pivot you into a good direction. If not, feel free to email me back and we can talk further. And you are all invited to email me at advice@oldpodcast.com. I'm happy to help you with all your questions and get you featured on the show if you'd like. Don't be shy. Quitting time now, though, everyone, so go enjoy your Saturday if you're listening in real time. And be sure to come on back tomorrow for another narration episode. That's where your optimal life awaits.